So as we approach the winter 2026 anime season, there is a certain anime by the name of Medalist that I am quite excited for. I recently finished it. I watched it over on Patreon. I had the intentions to do maybe a little batch release every few weeks. I'd do a little video over on YouTube on it. Copyright made that not able to happen. It's what it is. But there's something I'm genuinely concerned about when it comes to the second season of Medalist, and that is what we're looking at right here. A lot of popular new shows, returning shows, and the like. But even with that said, I felt like there was a buzz about Medalist. You know, I felt like there was actual discussion and hype, but maybe it was a cult following, and I just, as an outsider looking in, thought it was more popular than it is. But I want you to really watch this, right? You might be saying, what are we looking at? I'll tell you what we're looking at. There's no fucking Medalist. But there is. It's just basically at the bottom. Now you may want to say, but there's technically this much left. Once you get down to about here, it doesn't really count. Like, it's not anime that anyone's going to watch anyway. Like, I'm not saying they may not be good anime, but it's more of a case of, like, literally no one will recommend it to you. Medalist is for basically all purpose at the bottom of this list. And does that necessarily mean it's going to fail? No, it doesn't. It could pop off, but I think this is what's actually going to happen, okay? Medalist is going to come out, maybe the first couple of episodes, decent discussion, and then everyone's not going to make content on it. They'll lock it behind Patreon, which is probably what I'll be doing, because the YouTube overlords punish you if you try to continue things that aren't really hitting your audience, right? And that saddens me greatly. I think Medalist, see, the whole purpose of this video is a secret way for me to review the first season of Medalist, but it's also about the genuine concern I have that no one's going to watch season 2. Now, season 2, I think, is supposed to be 10 episodes, it was announced, but at the end of the day, if you were to ask me, where should this be in the popularity of the upcoming chart? Top 2 rows. Now you may want to say, well, it's not. It is legitimately that good of a show. But here's the thing, right? Let's just say every site, the way they track their anime and anticipation is different. It's true. But I've also been doing this long enough that I know how this works. So on OmniChart, as an example, not live chart, Medalist is what? There's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So it's in the top 15. You might want to say, but that looks pretty good, right? No. I've often seen this. I'd have to go back all these seasons, but what ends up happening, right? Because, like, look at Fire Force. Fire Force on OmniList is listed as one of the top 5. Guess what? There's a reason why no one's covering Fire Force. Like, there's select channels that are more battle shonen oriented that do it. But the reason why Reddit discussions are non-existent for Fire Force is because literally just no one gives a shit. I do, but it's how it happens. Hell's Paradise is not going to get that much discussion. It's just how it is anymore. The English side of the community is genuinely a lot different than it used to be. Stuff like Trigun is not going to get that discussed, nor will Metalist. Now, my anime list. This one's a little more reputable, in my opinion, because it does genuinely because most anime fans use this. I personally don't, but it's how they track it. And because so many people have put this in their upcoming I Want to Watch It, 18,000, good number. The issue is these people do not discuss this show. They might check it out when it's over, and discussion won't be there. And as someone who, of course, makes videos surrounding discussion, that's important to me. But even shows that, like, this number, if it's not in, like, the 30,000 or 25,000, it's probably not going to get discussion outside of very niche groups. Trigun could be the hidden gem. It's possible. But this is a show that doesn't really garnish discussion. Now, you may want to say, but what about shows like these? Sometimes the way it works, it's a new show. Like, it's really weird with English anime fans anymore. They're weird. When it's new and it's fresh, it gets extra discussion. So this number's impressive. But if this show comes back for a season 2, that number is going to be halved at least. And I know people are going to say, Brandon, you're making this all up. Trust me, as someone who makes seasonal anime content, this is all stuff that I see. This is how I figure out how to do what I'm going to do on YouTube. But also, it's It's a sad state of affairs is what I'm getting at, and it really bums me out. So the story of Medalist, right? For those who may not know, why should I care about some figure skating anime? And I get it. I had the same thought when people first started talking about it, and I was very glad that one of my patrons requested it. This man right here had a dream. He had a dream to be the best, but he started late in his life. So, like with many sports, if you kind of get the jump on it a little too late, you fall behind your peers, and there's a certain age that basically becomes a cutoff. This man, he reached that cutoff. But despite that, insanely talented and an absolute killer coach. Insert the main character, Nori, who is a bundle of gremlin cinnamon aura. If you don't know what that is, this shot right here represents it. She thinks she kills someone by falling down and pours one out for the dead homie. But secretly, she's also really trying to be the best. She cares about figure skating. She does whatever she can. The guy who does the gate to get into the ice rink, he's like, hey, if you bring me a bag of worms for my fishing, I'll let you in. And she'll do that because she's trying her best, whatever she can do. She has a very unsupportive mother. And then insert this whole dynamic. Hey, you're also starting late, but you got mad talent and you have a coach here that wants to help you, that wants to show you that you can do it. And the insecurities and the drama that comes with everything. This mother here is actually one of the more impressive developments in the show. She is an absolute biatch. She is unsupportive. She's a helicopter parent. But without spoiling too much, the development she undergoes made probably one of the biggest haters towards her say, maybe Truck-kun don't gotta get you after all. It was great. And of course, you know, they have a lot of chibi, kind of fun, simplistic art comedy when it comes to her energy, because she is just a bundle of chaos. But they also have this intensity. You see her internal struggle. Like, this is a girl who you would swear is getting flashbacks, but what she's gone through and the failure she feels like she's undergoing is fantastic. And this is a show with a lot of 3D figure skating, but at no point did I ever look at the 3D and think, damn, this show should have been just pure 2D. No, I thought to myself, similar to Studio Orange, who does stuff like Beastars or, you know, Trigun Stampede. I was very happy because, you know, I think you can freeze frame on a lot of the 3D and people will like nitpick it like, oh my god, it's clearly a 3D shot. Like, but those people are never going to be happy. The show did a pretty solid job at making someone like me who gave this much of a shit about figure skating. And I think because it was 3D, they're able to make the movements feel a lot more realistic. And it's not to say like it was consistently 3D. There was plenty of 2D, of course, too. Like, look at these beautiful shots. But the way they would actually handle the animation and seeing them drive around, well, not drive, skate around. I'm an idiot, okay? Forgive me. Around the rinks, it really made me feel like I was watching something I always knew about. And I think as a sports series, your job is to get people who like the sport, or people like me who don't give a shit about sports, to feel like we are the fans who's always been in the stadium seats cheering because this is the best thing ever. Now, I've always had respect for figure skating. This isn't a sport that I've ever scoffed at. I've always said, damn, that's impressive, because I know how easy it is just to roll your ankle, just doing normal skating maneuvers. So to see what they were able to do and to see these kids succeed, and the child cast is actually solid. The child actors, I guess we'll say, that piss you off actually undergo decent development too, and the ones that are just like good supports, like they actually made the kids feel like kids in the show. And this shouldn't be a compliment, this should just be a common thing. It sadly isn't, especially in anime. But at no point did they treat children in this show anything other than children. The adults were adults and the children were children, and there was nothing weird about it. And that was refreshing. This show, I think, genuinely deserves the goddamn moon. If we could give it the moon, it deserves it. This is one of the best sports series I've seen, and I think the familia bonds that you see so... Like, I forget how many episodes, it was 12 or 13 for the first season. I swear to God, I underwent like 6 different amazing character arcs for different characters. And you can't say that for all these shows. I think this show deserves way more popularity than it's seemingly getting. Maybe it's just more of a cult following, but in my humble opinion, if there's one sequel show that is coming out that you have yet to start, I put this show above all others. Now, people are going to say, that's crazy. I don't care. Jujutsu Kaisen does not need your help. It will wait for you, and it will continue to be good. This is a show that if you get on now and you support, we can generally continue to see more of this greatness be achieved. This is a fantastic show, and I genuinely worry about the future of the show, because I feel like, based on what I'm seeing, and it just feels like this show is being heavily slept on. Please, for the love of God, don't sleep on it. It is fantastic. But that's all from me. If you want to see my full live reactions to every single episode of Medalist, which this will include season 2, will be over on Patreon. Maybe we'll try it on YouTube. It all depends on this video. So like, comment, subscribe. All that fun jazz does help. And no matter what, Patreon's where you're going to catch my full live reactions to all these episodes and more. And hey, it also does help fund the channel and videos just like the one you're watching. So until next time, everyone, please take care. Go watch Medalist. Have a good one.